Vulvar lesions are common in women. A lot of times they go away on their own. But if you have a lump or a bump in the vulvar area that's increasing in size, causing pain or bleeding, please see your healthcare provider. Today we're going to talk about vulvar surgery, and we'll talk about some of the different types of surgery and then why surgery is done and some of the recovery steps that will help you have a successful surgery. So if that sounds good to you, continue watching. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Dr. duPont. I'm a board-certified gynecologic oncologist, and I'm passionate about educating women to lead healthier and productive lives, and I believe that begins with great health. I do have several videos on gynecologic cancers, and please check those out if you're interested. They'll talk about some of the symptoms and risk factors that we find in terms of how to detect a cancer early or how to detect something that could become cancer if left untreated. Well, today I'm going to talk about vulvar surgery. When we're talking about surgery of the vulva, there's many different types. There's simple, there's partial surgeries. It'll be simple partial vulvectomy, complete vulvectomy. You may have a groin dissection. So it'll all depend on what the lesion you have is. Usually your doctor will do a biopsy in the office, and that will tell them the cell type or if there's a precancer change or a cancer change. And then they'll talk about, how to remove it. Now, depending on if it's cancer or not cancer, the margin status or the amount of tissue we remove will vary. And so, and also that'll depend on the location, things that are close to the urethra or close to the anus where you have, bowel movements. Those lesions are harder to remove, and we can't always remove them entirely because they affect other structures. So your doctor will talk to you about exactly their plan for removing that procedure, and if you need something like a flap or reconstructive surgery after, and that all depends on the size. So definitely if you notice something down there, make sure you check right away because it's so much easier removing small lesions than large lesions. So don't think it'll go away on its own if it hasn't over the past couple of months. If it keeps getting bigger or causing pain, please see your healthcare provider. So the first part of surgery is, once your doctor's done the biopsy in the office and they've decided that you do need surgery, they may talk to you about getting medical clearance depending on your age and your health status. Do you have diabetes? Do you have high blood pressure? Is your blood pressure controlled? You may need medical or cardiac or other clearances depending on what your health status is. Typically, after you're ready for surgery, the doctor will talk to you about where the surgery will be, either a surgery center or a hospital. And that'll depend, on your health and the location you live in and just what's most applicable to your situation. In terms of surgery, you will probably meet with the hospital team or the pre-op surgery team, and they'll talk to you about ways to reduce infection. Definitely if you're diabetic, try to keep your sugars as low as possible or within the goal range, because we do know that the lower your sugars, the better you heal, the reduced risk of infection. And then also they'll talk to you about, how to care for yourself after surgery, especially if you're having something like reconstruction or you're going to have a plastic surgeon that's going to do some additional surgery after your resection. So typically after you have the surgery, most patients tolerate the surgery well. You may be sent home the same day, or depending on the type of surgery you're having and your histology, you may have a lymph node dissection. Nowadays we do a lot of sentinel lymph node biopsies. Your doctor may inject some dye to find kind of the sentinel or the first draining lymph node. That may be done the day before surgery or the morning of surgery. And then if you don't have a cancer, your doctor may just do the vulvectomy. And when we're looking at the vulvectomy, again, it depends on the location and how big the lesion is. So definitely small lesions are much easier to remove than larger ones. So definitely if you have something that's abnormal, see your doctor right away. But usually after the procedure, one of the most important things is keeping the area clean and dry. Your doctor or nurse may talk to you about, dial antibacterial soap or Hibiclens, or just keeping it clean with soap and water. Usually I tell patients to avoid any perfumes, soaps, or anything that has fragrance in it because it may be irritating. You really just want to keep it clean and dry. The other thing is if your lesion is close to the rectum, your doctor may put you on stool softener so that when you have a bowel movement, you don't strain, because if you have stitches close to the rectum, you can actually break those stitches. And also I tell patients, if they do have a lesion close to the anus, I may want them to rinse the area after every bowel movement because I don't want the stool to get contaminated in that vulvar incision so that it heals properly without causing more complications. So definitely after surgery, hygiene is one of the most important things. Also watching your blood sugars if you're diabetic. And if you smoke, definitely stop smoking. We do like patients to stop smoking 2 months before surgery, but ideally it's best to not smoke at all because smokers do have more troubles with wound healing, and so definitely don't smoke because it can help your wound heal faster. The other things that are important after surgery, not only in keeping the incision clean and dry, but looking for signs of infection, but walking and having a healthy diet. So high protein diet with lots of fruits and vegetables, lots of antioxidants. Usually you'll get those in fruits and vegetables. That helps your wound healing. And then also watching your sugars. So decreasing the cookies and the sweets and watching your carbohydrate intake will help also you heal. After you've had surgery and you're at home recovering, you may have drains depending on what type of vulvar surgery and if you had a lymph node dissection. Now, if you do have a lymph node dissection and you are sent home with drains, make sure you measure the output because it's very important to know how much that drain is putting out every day before we remove it. I remember once when I was in training, I had a patient whose drain fell out too soon, and that lymph fluid that drain is supposed to remove just built up, and I think she had to come to the office every week for felt like forever for me to drain that fluid with a syringe and a needle. So ideally, if you have a drain, please be careful. Make sure no one steps on it or pulls it out by mistake because it is serving a purpose to remove that lymph fluid. And then also, if you do have a drain, make sure you look for signs of infection. Things like redness, purulent discharge. Those are things we're looking for when we're looking at a drain. And then also make sure you record the output. And when you go to your doctor's office, bring that log of the output because that's very important to know, again, how long that drain should stay in. Other things to look for, again, on the incision is it red? Are you having any purulent drainage? Those are things that your doctor needs to know right away. If you're having fevers, typically make sure you call your doctor right away. And if you're having fevers that are really high and you're having chills, don't wait for your appointment. Go ahead and call the doctor or the nurse right away because they may want you to come in sooner than your postoperative appointment. And the other thing is just make sure you're active. Walking outside, getting fresh air is very good for wound healing. And of course, that'll depend on the location, and your doctor will give you those instructions. But definitely try to move around, and that will reduce your risk of getting blood clots, pneumonias. So we do know that patients that are more active after surgery actually do better. So we don't want you lying in bed every single day. We do want you to get up and move around to reduce those risks of other complications. Well, I hope that is helpful for you. If you've had a vulvar surgery, and you've had a great experience, or if you have some questions about a vulvar surgery, please put them in the comments below. And again, if you are interested in other videos regarding GYN cancers, please check out this video next. Thanks for watching, and talk to you later.